Okay, we're continuing in alphabetical order. Holy Grail of Wisdom quotes by me, Pete Rogers. We're doing Kurt Vonnegut. He's a pretty good writer. He's an American writer. He wrote a few good books. He's got pretty easy to read prose. Here's some of his quotes. Nietzsche had a little one-liner about how to choose a wife. He said, "Are you willing to have a conversation with this woman for the next 40 years? That's how you pick a wife." And the truth of the matter is, that's a good quote, because you got to talk to your wife. You got to negotiate mostly stuff about the kids, about the house, about money, about all the little things that come up. This idea of you complete me, that's BS though. The man and the woman are very different. You don't share anything 50-50. It's all 100-100. She's 100% in charge of this, 100% in charge of that. That's how you want it to be. You never want 50-50, because 50-50 turns into 60-40, then 70-30, and then somebody's pissed off. But 100-100, you know what each one does. And I actually think that's part of why my parents' marriage was so good. Was my dad was a doctor, my mom took care of the house. And that worked perfect, because there was never an argument about who does what. Okay, next quote. And also, yeah, you got to talk to them, and they're not always going to be a hot young Betty. They're going to get older, you know. That's just life. All right. And men tend to age better than women do. So that's why it's an advantage for a woman to get married young. She's got her best chance to marry well, and her SMV is highest. You know, as she gets older, guys' SMV stays high a lot longer. Look at me, for example. Okay, Kurt Vonnegut. Be careful what you pretend to be, because you are what you pretend to be. I don't pretend to be the best doctor in the world. I am the best doctor in the world. As a matter of fact, I got insulted by somebody. They said, "How could you be the best doctor in the world? You're not really rich. The best doctor in the world should be really rich." I said, there's different definitions. Best doctor in the world in private practice is the one who makes the most money. The best doctor in the world in the university is the one who publishes the most papers. But the best doctor in terms of what patients care about is the one who can cure the most patients. And that's me. Okay, so I do have a fair reason to claim that title. Next quote. A sane person in an insane society must appear insane. Okay, continuing with Kurt Vonnegut quotes. Future generations will look back on TV as the lead in the water, the water pipes that drove the Romans mad. Yeah, they had lead pipes. That's why lead's symbol is PB for plumbing. Vonnegut continues, the primary benefit of practicing any art, whether well or badly, is that it enables one's soul to grow. Do not let anyone stop you from creating. Do it today, do it tomorrow. It's a way to enable your soul to grow. The arts are not a way to make a living. They are a way to make life bearable. Yeah, I had fun writing books no matter what. Even if I knew nobody was going to buy the book, I was going to write the book, because I knew I'm right. If you know you're right, and if you know what you're doing is good, you want to make the book. And, you know, publishers don't really do anything. Well, I'll tell you what a publisher does. Publishers market the book, because they're a business. You know, they don't make a book unless they think they can make money on it, and they've got connections with all the stores. But book publishing has gone in the garbage can because almost nobody reads, number one, and number two, all the publishing companies have been taken over by, you know, the types of people who don't allow anything good to be published. Okay? Even though most self-published books stink, that's where the best books are. Okay, here's the next quote by Kurt Vonnegut. He says, music is to me proof of God's existence. During tough times in life, I can listen to music and it makes such a difference. Like Schopenhauer said, it goes right to your brain. There's no intermediary. It's just there. Vonnegut continues, you can meet saints anywhere. They are the people behaving decently in an undecent society. And he talks about writing. He says, I want to stand as close to the edge as I can without going over. On the edge, you can see all kinds of things that you can't see from the center. The secret of success in any human endeavor is total concentration. Yeah, in order to write, you got to have the whole day pretty much to yourself blocked off, especially the morning. That's when you're going to do your best work. That's pretty well known amongst all great writers. I've studied tons of geniuses and other great academic achievers. They crank in the morning. Okay, this guy, Peter DeVries, he says, I love being a writer, but what I can't stand is the paperwork. Okay, we'll just do a couple quotes now from Lev Vygotsky. This will be pretty fast. He's a Russian developmental psychologist, and he came up with the idea of scaffolding, and he calls it the ZPD, the Zone of Proximal Development. And what that means is, let's say you have a kid by themselves, 5 years old. The kid can't do much, but if the father, the mother is there, they can show the kid how to do something, and then the kid can imitate. So in a sense, the parent's gesture of showing the child how to do it is scaffolding to enable the child to visualize what to do, then they can do it. So that's a tremendous amount of stuff is taught that way. What a child can do with assistance today, he can do by himself tomorrow. Yep. And that's why kids should be around older people, because they learn from older people. They don't learn anything from being around kids their own age. Let's see. That's really the big thing to get from Lev Vygotsky. He says writing should be meaningful for children and should be incorporated into a task that is relevant to life. Okay, so that's really all I want you to get from Lev Vygotsky, but that kind of goes back to Ayn Rand too in her book Return to the Primitive. She talked about how children need to be around older people, older siblings, their parents, their teachers, because that's what they're going to learn from. They don't learn anything being around kids their own age. That just turns them into goof-offs and distracts them. Anyways, I hope you found that helpful.